Marketing Bootcamp, and it is also, did you get it? It is also combined with another meetup called the Double Your Check Club. And as these two groups, if you're here for either of them, cool. If you're here for both and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's cool too. As this group grows every month, when we hit about 100 members, what we'll do is we'll split those meetups apart, and then we'll run one every 2 weeks, one on each of those meetups. So for the next couple of months, we'll run them together. And the speakers that Maurice and I bring in, we'll bring in that will tackle both topics. So I have a partner in crime, Maurice Domino. How many people know Maurice? Pretty much everybody in the room. Awesome. He says whatever is hello in Japan. What is it? Konnichiwa. He's in Japan at the moment, so he is usually my partner in crime, and we put these meetups on once a month, and we do it jointly. So those, how many were at Maurice's boot camp this past weekend? Awesome. Do you guys feel good?
Yes.
Did Jennifer scare you?
No.
No? Oh, okay, good. Then tonight's your night.
You're what tonight?
Yeah, then tonight is your night.
Inspired.
Jay, you guys want to come in and sit?
I'm just waiting for my coffee.
Oh, wait for your coffee over here. They're going to deliver it over here.
Okay.
Do we have a couple more chairs up there, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How many of you were with us at Beyond Business Live this past weekend? Okay, awesome. Great, another great weekend, right?
Yes.
The MCI here was the best part of the show.
He was. Made the whole weekend.
Made the whole weekend, right? So good to see some of you that I haven't seen for a while, and I really hope that you get a ton out of tonight. Jen, do you want to sit or you going to stand? Huh?
I can stand.
Okay. Okay, I'm cool with whatever. I just want to get everybody settled, make sure everybody's comfortable. So we bring in speakers each and every month that are really designed to give you accelerated results in your business, whatever that is. Okay? Patty, you are just a troublemaker, woman.
I'll go to the bathroom and get some more conversations going on.
Well, the door is thin, so you just might do that. What I love about this group is the interaction and the community that this builds. By the time you get home tonight, those of you that are part of the meetup group will have an email in your inbox from Meetup asking how tonight's event went. I'm going to ask that you rate this meetup and give some feedback. We're really trying to build this into a really good, cool community like we had it 3 or 4 years ago, where we had anywhere from 200 to 250 people every month. So it's a great group tonight. When you rate that, if you're going to rate this group anything less than 5 stars, I just ask that before you do that, please call me. Okay? You can grab.
Okay.
Come on, Jason. I'm good.
So how much is that worth?
So the only rating we've ever got less than a 5-star was one time we got a ½ a star, and I called the lady, and for me I left it up because it is the one thing that helps this community grow, and that is we got rated a 1 star. It was the worst event she had ever gone to. It was absolutely horrible. And when I asked her why, her response was, "You have developed such an unbelievably close-knit community that when I walked in, I felt very unwelcomed, and nobody entered, nobody visited with me, and nobody shook my hand, and you had such a good community." So on one hand, it was great that we had an amazing community, and on the other hand, it sucked.
Rocks. I'm trying. I'm trying to keep his better.
That we had such a good tight-knit community that we didn't make a new person feel totally welcome. So if you're here for the first time, I want to take this moment to just say welcome. I appreciate you being here, and if there's anything that we can do to help you have a great experience, please let me know. Tonight's program is going to be divided into 2 sections. Usually the way this works is Maurice and I will do a piece in the first part, we'll take a break, and then our speaker will come in at the end. However, tonight is a super guest, and so I'm going to introduce her in just 1 second, and you'll understand why I'm giving her the vast majority of the time when she starts. I do want to acknowledge Andrea, and she just walked out. She'll be back at 8:30. Andrea McLean is the owner and founder and creator of M Street Coffee here. The coffee here is unbelievable. She believes in fair trade practices, sustainability. All of her cups and stuff are biodegradable. She does everything as best you can that's good for the environment. And if you're a writer or somebody in the entertainment world, I assure you probably know of M Street Coffee, and if you watch any television whatsoever, I assure you that some of the episodes of TV that you have watched have been created right here in this coffee shop. You come in here during the day and it's just writers everywhere. So, if you would like to join M Street's email list, they have little forms. I handed them out to some of you. They are also up here. This is all about building a community. I would highly suggest that if you are into getting one email a month from an organization that's really all about building community and giving back to the environment, please join our list, and anything you can do to pop in here. This is a great place for meetings if you're doing networking one-on-one, so on and so forth. Although hopefully we convince you that you should be doing them on video. If you do have to go old school route and you do want to sit down and actually talk in front of someone, I would highly recommend doing it here. Fair enough? Okay. I got done emceeing this whole weekend. I'm so in MC mode now. I got to get out of it. It's driving me crazy. Hey guys, come on in. Come on in. Talk to Linda. Okay. So tonight, you guys, we are in for. You're gonna be able to watch that clock, right? Or I'm just gonna butt in. I'm just gonna butt in. Perfect. Perfect. So about 4 years ago, I was out on a speaking tour with an event that traveled around the country called Promote Your Passion. Did anybody ever go to any of the Promote Your Passion events? Just a couple of you? Okay, so we did I think 50 events in under 6 months. So we were really running about two a week in every city differently. And when we went to Dallas, Texas, it was in Irving, Texas. And all I remember about where we spoke was that on one side of the building was every strip club in Dallas, Texas. And on the other side was these huge mega churches. And I just thought it was kind of funny. And I remember walking in, and I was kind of one of the main keynote speakers for that event, and we always would pull speakers in from whatever city we were in. And I remember that when we set up in Irving, this woman walks in, and she comes in with a full-blown entourage. I mean, there were people that had cameras with her, there were people that were doing social media. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Right? And then she opened her mouth. And when she opened her mouth, it was pure brilliance. And I sat literally on every single word throughout the entire presentation. And at the end of that presentation, like those of you that saw her this weekend, I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I'm in. Right? She's that on the forefront as a thought leader. Since then, she and I have actually partnered up. We've become business partners. For those of you that have ever heard about DNet before, it's a company that I run on the side. Jennifer is actually the founder and creator of DNet. We also have a couple of digital marketing agencies, and she may or may not talk about that, because tonight is not about us pitching anything other than giving you some really cool content and value. So from that, what I really learned to do throughout my career after meeting Jennifer was to never go anywhere and not have a digital asset created when I leave.
Bruce!
Right? So Bruce Waterman here. Bruce Waterman owns and runs an organization called Exposure Biz, and he's really here to help digitize this event, because this is great that there's about 40 of you in this room, but when you all leave, for you all it's done. You get in your cars and leave. For me, I will be taking the video and the photos of this event, repurposing them all over the internet, and using it to generate leads and opportunities for me for a lifetime. And so really, Jennifer's going to talk a little bit tonight about asset creation and digital asset creation. Welcome, Wiley. Wiley was just here the other night for a meetup group that takes place here on Tuesday, whatever that X number of Tuesday is here, for the entertainment business. So if you're in the entertainment world, talk to me. I can put you in touch with Carrie, who does that meetup group. So welcome, my friend. So that was really kind of where Jennifer and I started our relationship, and it's grown. We now travel together, we speak separately, we're all over the place. We've just gotten back off of being, both of us, on speaking tours for about the last 8 weeks, and it's the last week has been here. She did Maurice's event, I did Beyond Business Live. I kept her at my house for the next few days, and tonight she's excited because tomorrow morning she goes home.
And it's about done. You still have lipstick on your face?
I do? Those are going to make some good photos. There's going to be some people that are very excited. People are going to be very excited to see those on Facebook. Jennifer is in town from Dallas, Texas, you guys. She has run global logistics for a few companies you may have heard of, Fossil Watches, Federated Department Stores, Tommy Bahamas. She is about the most, one of the sharpest people you're ever going to meet. She is an unbelievable speaker, trainer, value provider, and she's just an amazing friend and a great mentor. So with that, you guys, my good friend, my sister almost, Ms. Jennifer Bagley.
Here, you guys, thank you so much. Who traveled the farthest? Who thinks they traveled the farthest to get here? Where from? Huh?
Winner, Laguna Niguel.
Where from?
We're from Ventura County, Oxnard Shores.
Okay.
San Diego.
Oh. All right, you got it. I know Casey has some books somewhere. So tell me, why did you come? And whoever, you pick or I'll pick. Why did you come here tonight?
Jennifer.
What did you say? Before, why did you come? Yes.
Bruce told us, and we had come to another one of his meetings that he recommended and was fantastic. And he also invited us to your DNet, and everybody who's been involved with Casey and you have been fantastic. So you weren't going to miss it.
Fantastic.
They were out at our Galvin event.
Yes, I remember, absolutely. They
That was
sat
when
in the left corner.
we pulled up the DNet thing and it outperforming your own website.
I remember that. Oh, they sat 3 chairs on the right-hand side. You sat right there. I remember that event where you sat. Fantastic. Anyone else? Don't be shy. Yes.
Well, it's you, but also Dallas, because I have a daughter that lives in Dallas.
Oh, you want me to say y'all or all y'all, huh? I'm not from Dallas, so I'll throw in a y'all or all y'all just because I'm trying to fit in, but I'm not from there. Well, fantastic. How many of you would agree that you came here because you're interested in making more money in your business? Anyone? How many would agree that you came here because you're interested in making more money in your business? Okay, fantastic. So in my world, I had a mom that was brilliant. She was not shy about talking to me about making money. It was okay. I noticed there's a lot of females that I get into interesting conversations with, and it's like, oh, world peace, I want to save the world, I want to do great things, I want to help other people. All fine and dandy, I love it. However, in my world, you making money is as great as your need for air. Would you agree?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to help more people if you make more money?
Yes.
You can become a philanthropist, you can do all of these great things, right? If you help, what do they say when you get on an airplane and they're given instructions about the mask? Take care of you first. So I'm a fan of that. I absolutely am a fan of that. Each one of you has a lifestyle that is either going to make or break what you do in business. Many times I see people go into business and they only parse out one area of where they want success. They'll say, I want to make more money. Congratulations, I'm going to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year. I'm going to absolutely beat it. I'm going to burn it on both ends. Somebody yesterday, I did a radio show. He said, I'm burning both ends with the blowtorch. I was like, freaking stop. Stop it. Now, don't get me wrong. It requires a tremendous amount of work to be able to perform, but on the other hand, if you burn yourself out in business, you don't take care of your health, you lose your family, something's going to go. You agree?
Yes.
So you'll notice when we talk about business, we try to take kind of a whole life approach. It requires work. It requires change. It requires, more than anything, a change in the way you think. Everybody here, I already know you think differently because you showed up. Do I talk too fast?
No.
Oh, fantastic. I was like, dang, I don't normally get the head shake 3 minutes in. Shoot. I didn't like to make till 8. Okay. So,
You're fine.
okay, fantastic. You can always try and slow me down. You're more than welcome to, or just go back to the clip and press pause. All right, so you guys, if you have a pen and paper, take down some notes. I'm going to give you some pointers, some tips. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3 things that you can take back to your business, your life, your home, that are going to be easy to remember and implement. Hopefully they become a part of the way that you think. Okay, in my world, I'm going to give you first off my creed. And my creed, I believe, has definitely helped me. I used to have to put it on sticky notes and, you know, the motivational things, put it in your book, in your mirror, and all those things. I don't have to do that anymore. Mine is very simple. I promise to protect and leverage. Are those 2 strong words? Good. Think about them. Protect and leverage my time, money, resources, relationships, and technology. I want you to think very, very careful about that. I promise to protect and leverage my time, money, resources, relationships, and technology. That will help make or break your business. It should help you check your decisions. When you have somebody that tells you you should use this or you shouldn't use this, or go ahead, you know what, I'm not going to spend money on that right now, I'm just going to do it manually. Think about your time. Everyone in here has one asset I can't get back for you, which is what? But I can absolutely help you make more. What do you think the #1 excuse that prevents people from being successful or implementing new strategies or digital marketing technologies or writing new content or blogging or any of that? I don't have enough what? Time. Okay, total bullshit.
She tried to check me. That's all I'm going to say. She tried to check me.
Okay, my face is hot now. So, total BS. Let's roll. All right. It is absolute garbage. If you think about what you do, all of you agree you're in sales?
Yes.
Do you answer the same question over and over and over again like Groundhog's Day in sales?
Oh, yes.
All day long. Do you have a digital recording of every single question you answer on a regular basis?
No.
That is a problem. That is an oxymoron. That is not, I don't have enough time. That is that I'm making decisions in my business that are going to prevent me from having time to do things that make me money. What do we come here to do? To learn how to make more money. So, which means we cannot personally make decisions in our business that prevent us from getting to our goal. As long as you sit in a mental space of I don't have enough time, you're doing exactly that. And trust me, it is difficult. I am the queen of things I'm not good at. Like, I have a big list. Me checking into a flight, I have to leave tomorrow. I don't like going to the airport by myself. The stand, I hope they have some good music, because when I get to the stand, my heart starts to beat. I don't like that. I have plenty of things I'm not good at. But I absolutely will either A, leverage time, or B, leverage resource to be able to get stuff done. All of us have to make a decision. We have time or money. In everything that we do, we either have time or money. And we have to choose. If I don't have the money, I better implement the time. If I have the money, then I can remove myself and I can do something else. We were just, Dean is my business partner. We were just having, and Casey, we were just having a conversation about how we make risks in our business and we pay for things we can't afford to get somewhere else quickly. So we do that on a regular basis. Ours happens to be staff, right? We're hiring people consistently. We're like, oh my God, I need to hire 7 salespeople right now in order to be able to process all the opportunities that happened in the last 7 days. Can I necessarily afford the 7 people? No. However, if I bring them in, will it fund themselves? Am I confident in myself? What did we say?
Yep.
Survey says yes. Okay? And that's what we do. Those decisions happen day in and day out. Same thing, all 3 of us. We brought in like 25 websites in a handful of days. So the next thing we do is we're like, well, we can tell them it's going to take 60 days or 90 days, or we can keep our commitment of 45 days. And what do?
Hire.
Hire. Invest before we can afford it. It is a challenge. You guys write this down, HLAs. HLAs. What is it, Brad?
High leverage activity.
Absolutely. You've got to know what are your high leverage activities. Where are the things that if you spend your time, it's going to net you a result that's going to help you get to your goal. So I'm going to back up a minute. You wrote down HLAs, high leverage activities. Everyone in here should know what are they. And you know what? I have a set of 5 high leverage activities for my personal life, for my business life, and so forth. So I have different ones. However, if you don't have clarity in what you want, can I use the Hummer example? I'm going to say Hummer on.
Please do.
Okay, can I tell that story first? Okay, can I take a side note that's not business real quick? You guys know I have a son who's 14, he's almost 15. Casey and I were sitting at dinner with him like 3 weeks ago when we were in Dallas. And how did the word come up? I don't know what happened, but the word Hummer came up, which I'm totally going to talk about his car in a minute, but the word Hummer came up, and it was the first time that Casey and I knew what something was, and the kids didn't. We were like, yeah! Next thing they know, they're on Urban Dictionary, and I was like, oh shoot. Okay, so anyway. We're standing outside a minute ago, and I love the fact that Dean says, you know what, a goal in my life is to be able to ship you that Hummer. I'm going to need you to go outside and see that there's a truck out there. Okay. So,
Very big truck.
it's a big truck. It is outside though, but really. But I like that. That's a good, he should have that goal, shouldn't he? Give him a hand for that goal. Now I have it on tape, and now I have like 60 witnesses.
Now you're accountable.
You saw how I worked that. All right, so back to clarity. You guys, one of my coaches is Tony Jerry. He's a coach to the top 500 CEOs in the world. He's brilliant. And he has a book called Strategic Acceleration. I highly recommend that you read it. If you have not. Anybody read it in the room? Fantastic. Strategic Acceleration, written by Tony Jerry. You can go to tonyjerry.com website we built for him, plug, and you can order one there, or Amazon. Okay, so, but in the book, basically, it starts off with principles, and the principle is, without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you cannot execute. If you don't execute, you will not win. I said that fast. I'm going to say it again. Without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you cannot execute. Without execution, you will not win. Have you met somebody that always is talking about what they're going to do? Yes? You probably know a lot of them. Okay? So let's move back to clarity. What do you want out of your business? Did I even ask that question right? Is that what I should ask? Anyone want to challenge me? Thoughts? Jeez. Okay.
I would start one step back. What do you want out of your life? And what role does your business play in achieving it?
Perfect. So I say that question because a lot of times that's what happens. We sit down and the first thing they ask you to do is write a what plan? A business plan. In my world, I'm going to write a life plan first. In my world, I want to know what my life plan looks like. So for me, it's quite simple. People ask me, why do you do what you do? Why do you travel? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Why do you work so hard? And so forth. Mine's very simple. My life plan is I want the ability to choose with unlimited restrictions. I have no clue what I want when I grow up. None. And it changes regularly. Those are my shoe selections. However, I do know, as with shoes, I want the unlimited ability to choose without restriction. So what does that mean? I spoke at recently at a speaker's workshop, and it kind of flustered me a little bit because there was a lot of conversations that I got into with speakers, and they were talking about, I asked them, what do you want in life? What do you want out of this? And they're like, oh, I want freedom, I want time with my family, I want tons of money. I was like, fantastic, so what are you selling? And they're like, well, I do events, I'm writing a book, I'm selling books, and I do coaching. So to me, it's an oxymoron. I instantly think mathematically about what that equation looks like. That is a straight trading time for cash. If you trade your hours for $1, what are you going to make? Can you tell me how much you possibly can ever make if you have that equal exchange? What is the one variable you can change in order to be able to make more money once you're at max capacity? Price. That's it. So if you have max capacity, like a hotel room, full occupancy, can't fit anything else in, did you ultimately accomplish your goal of wanting freedom, time, money, and so forth? So we have to be really, really, really careful as far as the why. We also, quite frankly, need to work backwards as far as time goes in our life. I have a colleague of mine, Lars and Andre, they own a company called Capacity Company, and he has this exercise he does at events. He borrows. This video is going to be a problem. Okay. So he goes to IKEA, and you know at IKEA they have those tape measures? So at IKEA the tape measure goes from 1 to 100. So what he does is he goes in and he takes that tape measure, everybody in the audience gets one, he grabs the tape measure and says, rip that tape measure off at your age and throw that piece away. So at mine, I would rip it off at 38, 32. I'd rip it off at 38, and I would throw that away, and now I'm left with 38 to 100. And then he says, rip it off where? Any thoughts?
Because you're going to retire.
Retirement. So, women get a few more years. So So I'm at 72. Men, you crapped out earlier. I'll give you 69 because I like the number. So,
Remember, call me before you put the rate.
So if I rip off from 38 to 72, what kind of time am I dealing with? Just a little bit. If I think about what did I accomplish in the last 12 months, and what if that was replicated over the next few years, over the years I have left, is it going to get me where I want to be? Anybody think that they have that picture? What if I replicate what I did in the last 12 months, in that time I have left, from where I'm at now to that 69 or that 72 number, is it going to work? Is that going to get me there? No. Okay. So in my world, if I don't like what I'm getting, I need to do what? Change it. I have to change what I'm doing. I have to change what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, every single stair step in success, every single stair step in business, every single stair step financially, still requires the same kind of evaluation, modifications, and change. Still. You don't get to a point, we just done at Davin's event. It was great, because when we got done with the event, it's a 3-day event for 1 to 3 employees with business live, right? And at the end of the event, I love seeing these multi-millionaires sit in a room, evaluate the event, and they're nailing each other on what didn't go right, what do we need to change, what do we need to do different, how are we going to do more, where were we at last event, where were we at this event, and they continue and they literally outline, these are all the things we're going to do different next time. Bigger investments, better technology, better AV. Okay, I'm going to stop. So, you saw. I know you saw. Okay. So, but they got it. And the fact that they research, implement, evaluate, and modify. Research, implement, evaluate, and modify everything they do consistently all the time. Do you think that's a normal human behavior? No. It's just not. It's not. Because we like being comfortable. You know what I mean? We like being comfortable. We like sitting in a place that's comfortable. Where do you grow? When you're getting your ass kicked. That's when you grow. People change 2 ways. A, because of consistency, or B, because a significant emotional event happens in their life, and usually those are not fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Usually those are not fun. So if you know that, if you wake up this morning and you come in and you say, I know I have 2 ways, I know I need to change. I have my little IKEA measurement tape in my head, I can see where I'm at, I can see when I'm over, and I want to be here when I'm here so I can enjoy this last portion of my life doing X, Y, Z. If I know that's the math, and I know in order to get there, I have to change. Everybody agree they need to change? We agree? Fantastic. And if you wake up in the morning and you know in order to change, you either need to do something consistently, evaluate the results and change it, or you're going to have to take a major ass whooping. Which do you choose?
I don't like consistency.
If you like that, that's a different meetup. It's always the AV guys. Okay. Having issues. I get to get on a plane tomorrow. Casey can deal with the wrath of this. You got to still rate him a 5. You can rate me a 1. Just not on mine. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'm going to talk to you. Do you want a break, Case? Do you guys need a break?
No.
Are you sure?
So here's the deal. I want to give you guys a break at some point before she goes into the next session. And the next session is going to be about 45 minutes an hour. Do you want to take a quick tea break?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, let's rock it. Let's go then.
I need I don't know what's what. So I'm totally allergic to paper. It's not on my good thing. Sorry, I kind of bunched it together. Yes. Without focus, you cannot execute. Without execution, you cannot.
You want the 12 step out, right?
Yes, 12 steps. All right, you guys. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to specifically talk about marketing. Because right now it is very, very critical. In order for you to grow your business and make more money, yes, you have to have all these things. And the reason I concentrate on mindset is because it's critical. Thank you. I love these men. All right. The reason I focus on that is because it's critical. All right. You guys, the bottom line is in your business, business, and you've got to have a good business model. Period. And I can't help provide advice in this environment on that. I don't know. But I will tell you, step number 1 of this 12-step roadmap must be implemented in order to check that first.
Jen, hang on a second. Let's get everybody. Let's make sure everybody gets them. And you guys, this 12-step roadmap is designed for you to kind of grade yourself as you go with it. So if you have a pen and you want to grade where you are in your business in each of these sections, it's a good time to take some notes, and maybe we'll get her to answer questions.
Thanks, honey. You guys, I didn't say this in the beginning. I don't care if you have your phones out. I don't care if you take good I don't care if you take good pictures. If you post a real fat picture, I'm gonna have issues. Okay, I'm sorry. You can take pictures, you can take videos. Don't care. You guys publish them, promote. This is what we preach. It's what we teach. And as speakers, I'm used to having 90 pictures with totally crazy faces and crazy looks, so I don't care actually. All right, 12 steps. You guys, step number 1 is quite simple. Can I have my steps? Step number 1, you guys, it's quite simple. The first one is going to be coaching and strategy. I will not go into business without having coaches in my life. I have more than one coach. I have Tony Jerry, I told you about. I have Casey, who gives me a tail whipping every single time. He's lectured me on my speaking, my delivery, the ability to close, the ability to sell. I literally spoke for 15 years before I sold the first product from stage. Very, very good at getting consultations. Absolutely made lots of money. However, would not sell a product from stage, literally to the point where I had a promoter that wanted me to speak and was like, well, if you can't sell, get out. Don't like that. No one tells me to leave. So, same thing. Dean right now has entered my life from a business partner standpoint and is challenging the heck out of the way I think. From an operations standpoint, web, search, social, SEO, execution. We have Don and Brian, my guys on the sales side. They're challenging everything we do as far as processing sales, building a sales organization, building a sales force, how we manage leads, what our measurement plans are, key performance indicators. I have to have that. In fact, Brian called me today. And was it today or yesterday? And I don't remember at what point, but he was talking, and I finally just stopped for a second, and I was like, I need to acknowledge the fact I love that you freaking stalk me like a crazy ex. I've been like full-on stalker. So,
that's a compliment.
But I needed to pull that out, and I needed to tell him I need that. I appreciate that. He stays on me like crazy. Make sure that we move forward. That's the first step in here. You have 2 things you've got to do. You've got to have the right advisors, and the right advisors are going to make you feel uncomfortable. Hopefully, they're probably going to hurt your feelings. Go into those meetings knowing that. I had a meeting with a gentleman in real estate recently, and I was like, he said, well, I want you to be my consultant. I was like, are you sure? I was like, but he started off the conversation saying, I really like you. I'm like, but you won't. That's going to change. Our relationship will change. We love, we hug, I see you, and then now I'm like, now you want me to be your coach. I'm like, you're going to cuss me out at night to your wife. You're going to be mad. And that is what, how many of you totally would love to have somebody in your life that absolutely hurts your feelings on a regular basis in order to help you improve? How many of you are lying, but you're trying to get there? Okay? That's fair. That is fair. A lot of the things that we talk about in these events, you guys, is really you having to come into Jesus meeting with yourself, and you seriously recommitting yourself to something that is uncomfortable, that is different, and that's going to be very important. Like finding people in your life that challenge the heck out of you, that make you think, that make you really, really analyze. This is where you want to be, this is what you're going to get there, your business model doesn't make sense. It mathematically doesn't make sense. I would rather have somebody save me the cost of doing it wrong all day long. All day long. A lot of times I see business owners when they're evaluating investments, technology investments, strategy, coaching investments, and so forth, I see them make a decision based on price. And that's where they sit. I'm going to go with my friend. I call them the triple Fs. Friends, family, and fools. No, no, and yes, no. Not at all. Okay? You heard my triple Fs? Friends, family, and fools. Has anybody worked with one of those? You're not going to take I am. I absolutely have. Okay? I've been one. All right? I've been 2. Actually 3. Should not have done that. Okay. So, in here, you guys, that is critical. All right, so first one is coaching and strategy. I'm saying get help. Okay. Next one, implementation.
May I just add in here, Jen? You know, one of the things, some of you that know me have heard me talk about this a bit. The other group outside of coaches that you really need is a group of 15-year-olds to tell you what's cool and hip and get you in line and in check. You know, Jen has a 15-year-old son, I have a 16-year-old nephew. Their group of friends is our focus group. If we don't figure out how to sell to them in the next 3 years, we're going to be either working for them working for us, maybe, if we can figure out how to find them. They run the world in just 3 years. We got to figure it out.
Casey's 100% right. That's 1,000 days away from my son being your employer, your employee, your competitor, or you're going to have to figure out how to make him your prospect or the influencer of your prospects. You have to know how to communicate with them. The fact that an entire population of human beings on the planet in a very short amount of time decided they're no longer going to communicate using email. Email is for dead people. Facebook is for old people. Instagram, you're in transition. Twitter, and now they're in Vine. Vine.
Exactly.
If you guys could see, she didn't just say they're in what, she said, they're in what? She said, I love that was a really good book, actually. Mine is funny as all get out. Oh, it's, yes.
Are there any services or products that are exempt from that email?
It doesn't, it's not even that, no. There's no way, like I had a gentleman, so Tony Jerry was a good example. When I first met with him, he's like, Jen, I do business with, these are Fortune 500 CEOs, these are executives. Those executives are parents. And their grandparents, and the executives have kids, and that's how they communicate with them is on Facebook because they can't call them because they don't answer their phone. Nothing is exempt from communication. We cannot look at social media sites or web or blogs and everything else as a social site. Forget social site. Everything I'm talking about is how people communicate with each other. And if communication is taking place on a site called Facebook right now, it might not be later, right now it's Facebook, or if communication is taking place on LinkedIn, or if communication is taking place from a Google search, the bottom line is you have to figure out what technology people are communicating with and you need to go there. I guarantee you there are more people, how many of you have your cell phones with you? How many people have smartphones? Okay, you guys look around. It's quite simple. There's more people with no underwear in the room than there is without a phone, right? But I know you know. There she is. I have a two for tonight. Okay, so you guys, that's a big deal. I guarantee you knew people that when cell phones came out said, I'm not going to carry that big boot around with me, yes? Yep. Every single change in life, people don't like change. So you have all, I don't want to change, and it's new, and it's for kids. Crap. All of it is. The bottom line is that we evolve. We drive different cars. We wear different things. I'm in skinny jeans now. I was in flare jeans last year, okay? I mean, that's what it is. Stuff changes. Stuff changes. And you've got to be able to accept it quickly. Now think about, do you agree technology is going to change? Yes. Do you agree you're going to have to learn something different? Yes. Do you agree that it's by nature easier to bitch about all the changes and want to sit on the fence and talk about what you don't like? Or, no, it changed, you're not going to fix Facebook. You can't call Mark and change it back. So get over it quick. Stop wasting your time on all the garbage. Seriously, if you look in your life and you look at the amount of hours you spend complaining about crap that you cannot change, will not change, and are not going to fix. Stop it. Stop. I hope those of you that are here with your spouses, it's good because now you can check each other. Okay? Those of you that are not here with your spouses, they're not going to like you tomorrow when you're like, you shouldn't complain about that. You can't fix it. But we've been bitching about this for like 8 years. Okay, I'm not going to do it. High leverage activities. Okay, so, alright, so in that same bucket, implementation. Somebody has to do the work. It doesn't matter, would you agree? It doesn't matter how much money you have. The customer has to participate in the marketing process for their business. Yes. You have to play a role. Not outsource participate heavily. It's your brand, your products, your services, your mission, your clients. It's what you do. It's you. And if you come to the table and try and outsource something and blame it on a technology company or blame it on some social media company or whatever, all you're going to do, you're going to replace company after company after company. You're going to burn through money, and more importantly, you're going to burn through more inches on your little tape, on your IKEA tape. You're going to burn through them. So we got to be real about it. All right, next. By the way, this right here, everything about this is based on supply chain strategy. More specifically in this environment, the sales supply chain strategy. It's in the right order. So this is about doing the right things in the right order at the right time. So if you're doing something on the back of this page, and you grade yourself a 0 or a 1 or a 2 on the front of this page, we need to change where we're focusing our time and energy. So if I see somebody with a horrible website, out paying for pay-per-click, that's a no-go. We'll go through why. Yes? See? I got an amen in fact. Alright, next one, mobile app. How many of you have phones? We just went through this. How many of you use mobile apps? Yes. How many would you like to have your business card in your customer's pocket 24/7? Stop giving them freaking paper then. It goes in the wash. It's done. How many of you keep all your contact business cards in your pocket? Yeah. So they're in a rubber band in your drawer. You mean to put them in your cards again soon. I'm going to get to it. Got it. Totally know. Even start some. You're going to call them soon. I know you. Okay. So, easiest way to get your contact information into a prospect or your customer's hands is to put it on the one thing they have 24/7. Drop it into a mobile app. You want to know how to get it paid for? Your mobile app? Yeah? First of all, it's cheap. You spend between $500 and $1,000, you can have a mobile app. Okay? With all the little bells and whistles that you need. So it's inexpensive. First thing is, you guys have 10 people that you refer business to on a regular basis that are in a similar industry. You sell to the same client, but you sell a different product or service? Fantastic. Everybody come together, drop down $100. You all pass it out to each other's network. You remember when you used to go to a networking event? You might still. You used to go to a networking event and they had the little book of cards, and you were supposed to, when you go meet with someone, you're supposed to hand them all your friends' cards. And that doesn't happen. You lie. You say, I passed out 4. Look that way. Okay? No, it didn't. But in a mobile app environment, if I have 10 of us that are all promoting the same mobile app, instead of me making CI Web Group's mobile app, we create a mobile app that's about a digital marketing community or digital marketing strategies. And I have 10 people that focus on different services, all promoting the same app to all of their networks. What am I doing? Leveraging, absolutely. Cross-promoting, collaborative marketing. You are more powerful together than you will ever be separately. Ever. Easiest thing, you don't know how to get them to sign on, you're not sure how to sell a mobile app, no problem. We have a couple people here that'll take care of that for you, okay? That's very, very simple. Quickest thing. The other reason you've got to have a mobile app is once you have a client, the last thing you want to do is leave them without your contact information, let them go to Google and search, because they're going to find what? Options. Okay? Options, especially if you're not well positioned online. So for me, Casey calls it building a fence around your customers, protection. For me, it's critical that if I'm going to invest in a client, where should your #1 source of new business come from? Existing customers, absolutely. Best sales force, highest probability of closing, biggest margins, everything. They know you, they sell for you, that should be your greatest source of new business. From reactivation, selling them new products and services, referrals, getting referrals out of them. You agree? So if you're going to invest in something, should they be first? Is it normal and natural for a business owner to go into business in hunting mode for the new client? Yep. They even wake up in the morning and they do have those come to Jesus meetings with themselves and they're like, God, I should really focus on my current clients. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But today I'm going to go call all these cards. and that's how that works. So mobile app first. Second, Google. You guys, Google is God in my world and you're going to need to build a relationship with her. It's my world. I'm here. Alright, so that's first. How many of you feel like you totally use all of the applications that Google provides? Okay, so Google is free. This is fantastic. Inside Google you have Gmail, an email application. Top3 account, you can serve any email through that account. You have Google Analytics. Why does that matter?
Where are people coming from? How are they
should probably know what's coming to your website and where they came from and how long they stay and where they leave and where they go. Okay, next they have Google Hangouts. Familiar with that? Yeah, I got a big smile from my boy in the back. What's your name?
Jay.
Jay, that's my man. All right, so Jay, you can teach everybody how to do a Google Hangout?
Sure.
All right, see, you have 27 meetings. Right now. And you can easily notate those meetings using what? Google Calendar. Google Calendar. You can have your calendar, everybody else's calendar. I love seeing a business owner get totally shamboozled by somebody selling Microsoft Exchange. How much is that? Thousands. Everything is free. Or you can upgrade just a little bit if you're a larger business. Yeah, so we have the ability to see each other's calendars. We all share calendars. I can see what you're doing all the time. You need to stop doing that. Okay, so, all right, Google Hangout, Google Plus, similar to Facebook, but growing. That's a great space to be in. Bottom line is, you've got to know how to use these basic applications. Great part is, it's all free. You want to know how to do it? You can purchase a $297 training series video from us, don't care, or you can go to YouTube and you can type in how to use Google Apps. So Google Apps, very easy, killer. The reason it's critical, you need content. We talked in the beginning about I don't have enough what? I don't have enough time. We talked about you answering the same 10 questions how many times a day? All the time. And that we're creating that problem. So if you take your top 10 questions you have to ask day in and day out, you pull up Google Hangout, which is an online free video recording system, and you interview somebody and you say, you know what, I get these questions all the time, or you interview each other and you record 10 videos that all answer those questions. You take that video, it's automatically uploaded to YouTube without doing anything. You grab the HTML code, drop it in a blog post, hit publish, let it spin out to all your social media sites without touching anything. Does that sound hard? Okay, I'm telling you it's this difficult. You click Open Hangout, you say who I want to invite. I'm going to invite Dean. Dean pops up with his friendly little smile. I'm here with mine, and I say, Dean, are you ready? And he says, yes, ma'am. Don't say any bad words. Say, okay. And then we hit Start Broadcast, and as soon as we hit Start Broadcast, we interview each other. We decide, you know what, let's bring Casey on. So we say, invite Casey. Casey pops on in his baseball cap. Didn't know we were recording, but I'm in. That's what he does. Okay. And then we bring Casey, we bring him into the conversation, we're recording, and we say, all right, you guys, if you're interested in getting more information on XYZ, just fill out the form below. As soon as we hit save, it automatically saves to a YouTube channel. Copying and pasting a little piece of embed code and pasting it on a blog post gives you an asset inside YouTube, plus an asset that shows up in Google search. Now it's in the web search. Is that question something you're going to have to answer for the rest of your life every day again? What do you do with the video? Next time somebody answers a question, watch this video and give me a ring if you have any questions. I have people, most of the time when somebody comes to me, by the time they've called, they're like, just how much? Because they know Terrell, they know my son, they know what how many of you know my son? Or you at least see him on Facebook. Anybody follow me on Facebook? People that I've never met before. They know who my son is, they know what we do. I think somebody said I've been watching you jaunt around somewhere. You did, yes. That's how that works. Video is going to allow you to replicate yourself. So right now my guess is you're doing things in a manual process, a repetitive process, and something very redundant. That's probably what your business looks like. Where I want you to get to is I want you to replicate yourself. You're the best salesperson for your company. Would you agree? Yeah. Absolutely. So I want you to replicate yourself. I want you to automate the distribution of the information in your head to people who are willing to buy and who are asking those questions. If I answer 10 of those questions during the day, are there most likely more people with the same question out there I don't know and I didn't meet at a networking event? Absolutely. So I want you to go home saying I'm going to make myself heavily available. Okay. Alright, that's critical. Now, if I have 3,000 videos out there, all with this, so Bruce, my man, I wouldn't go anywhere without him. If they asked me to come speak at an event and I couldn't bring Bruce, I'm not doing it. I have no interest. Especially, I've been to events and I've walked in and there's been 10 people in the room. I don't care if there's 10 people in the room, because what I get out of the video that Bruce produces for us is way more than that event. What this video will do for me, sitting inside YouTube, going out in a blog post, being published out to all our social media sites, then we'll put it on our other sites, we'll redistribute it to those sites, then we'll put it on auto post where it goes out to a group of 50 different Facebook groups with 2,500 people in all of them every 41 days for the next 15 years. And it takes me 12 minutes to do that.
Only after I edit it.
Yeah, there are okay, so this video might not do that.
We want the director's cut.
And guys, the cool thing about this video is being taped because she's talking to entrepreneurs and business owners. But if you do different presentations to different kinds of groups, then you have an asset to be able to send to that particular type of group. Right? I met Diana out in Las Vegas. I did the Las Vegas DJ show. Now, whenever I meet any type of DJ, the first thing I do, the first thing I do is I say, hey, let me send you this video I did for a group of DJs. So at the DJ show, even though the show promoter had a little video camera down in the front for their own crappy recording, I brought Bruce with me and Bruce taped the whole thing. Why? Because now I'll be able to sell to DJs all day, every day, each and every day because I have a videotape of me talking to their peers. Then 2 weeks later I went and did 1,500 people at a wedding show, wedding professionals and planners and so on and so forth. That's a wacky group. But I will now... I'll be able to, anybody in that event planning space, instead of me trying to talk and have a sales conversation, I can say, hey, go watch a presentation I made to your peers. Right? We just did Beyond Business Live, which is another group of medium to enterprise level businesses. There's 170 people in the room. Unbelievable group of people. If I come in contact with somebody in that category, now I can just take that video, send it right over to them, and now I've replicated myself. I've in essence given myself my time back. It's important. Bruce literally travels the world with me, and the only reason, for those of you that weren't at Beyond Business Live and were wondering while he's talking out his ass, it's because Bruce was taking Jennifer up at Maurice's event, and I had a photographer at BBL, Beyond Business Live. So don't go anywhere without them videotaping and picture taking.
I was totally
Exposurebiz.com.
Girl one. That's it. We were fighting over you before we got here.
Who was that DJ company?
F&J Entertainment. There you go.
Yes. All right, you guys. So that's Google Apps. All right. Just to give you an example of that whole process in one place, if you go to 12steproadmap.com, when you get to the site, what you're going to see is a PowerPoint presentation that matches this. The PowerPoint presentation was created in Google Apps PowerPoint Presenter, which gives you a live HTML embed code to put it on any website and let it play like a video. I don't touch PowerPoint, never would. Okay, it also has links to this form. If you want a copy of this, it has an HTML embed code for a Word document that came out of Google Apps, totally free. If I edit the Google app on my computer or phone, it automatically updates the website. Smart? Okay, in addition to that, it has a group of YouTube videos, some from the last speaking engagements that we did. So if we talk too fast or say something and you want to get it back, go watch some of the videos in there. What am I doing with our time? Absolutely. I don't wonder where our business is going to come from. Can I see that stack of papers we just gave you? Yeah. So you have to think about this. In our world, we have hundreds of videos, websites, content everywhere. In addition to that, we speak. So you're going to fill out a form like this. This is in our world a weekend of business. These are lead forms that come from just a couple speaking events. Is this a good day? Yeah. Okay? In addition to that, we have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of videos all over the internet that do the same thing. Why? Because it's a recording of the event where people fill out these forms. Our issues are different. I'm going to be a hot flash thinking about it actually. Our issues are different. We speak in order to be able to get in front of people, add value, provide information, educate people, and so forth. At the end of the event, we're going to offer a consultation that's entirely free. We spend an hour with you and totally focus on you, your business, how to improve it, how to help take all of these things or some of these things and implement them into your business specifically. We record it, the recording goes onto YouTube, the recording then goes into our websites, then gets submitted to social media sites, then it goes on repeat on Facebook, again, every 41 days for the next 15 years. After every single video, blog post, and social media post, there's a link that's tied to a CRM system that has this same form under every video. So when somebody sees the video, like I'm going to say, if you're interested in getting more information or talking to any of these hot guys right here, then just fill out the information below. Okay? So that form fills in a CRM system where all leads and opportunities are managed from. When you have the right infrastructure, have fun. When you have the right infrastructure in place, you don't have to worry about how to grow your business. First off, it's getting your mind right. Second off, it's getting a good coach. Third off, it's getting the right tools and systems in place. Then, focus and implement. Focus and implement. Focus and implement. And change it as it goes. I haven't done everything right. I've taken tons of tailwinds, some nice sized ones. But we do reevaluate and change it. Reevaluate and change it. Is this helpful?
Yes.
Does this sound like too much? Uh-oh. Does it sound like too much?
Yes.
That's fine, and that's good. What part? Tell me what part.
All of it.
I absolutely love your honesty. I love your honesty. So check this out. Under number 1, the second one is implementation. I would say you don't have to do much different than what you already do in your business to be able to implement a great plan, other than possibly have a camera in front of you or a recording device. So let me explain that. You can, this implementation plan, we have staff that does all of this stuff. The only thing you would have to participate in, do all of you already talk? Would you be okay putting a camera in front of you?
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Not historically, but it's coming.
You know what the thing is, Casey? What was the lady? I think we were at some event, and she was like, "Well, I'm not going to put a camera in front of me. There's no way." She said like I look fat and my hair looks funny or something.
Yeah.
What was your answer?
Here's the thing: you look and sound exactly how you look and sound. I don't know how to tell you. I still have a little spot back here. I still sound like this, even though I try as hard as I can to convince people I don't really sound like that. I really do sound like that. I hear myself on a microphone, I'm like, someone is messing with the mixing board. Come on, Rick. Make me sound like I should. The reality is you look and sound exactly how you look and sound. And people want authenticity. I will say this, ladies. For you, since I'm going to have a harder time convincing you that you look and sound exactly how you look and sound, here's the deal. Next time you're going to go out on a date or you're going to go kick your heels up for the night and you spend 2.5 hours putting your face on, why don't you get ready just a half hour earlier, allow yourself a half hour to do your videos right before you walk out the door. Then it's even fresh. And if you look a little wrinkled, talk to Debbie here, use some Nerium, put it on your face, you can look 12 like me. There you go.
So I'm hoping this helps. You can implement this without actually having to do too much. Even if we have one of our virtual assistants be able to spend a few hours a week being able to publish your content inside the blog, publish it to your social media sites and so forth. It doesn't require that much. But what will happen is if you don't do something, you will continue to get exactly what you get today. So the hard part is, that is the hard part. I absolutely cannot continue to do exactly what I'm doing today, period. So I'm going to have to get over the fact that it sounds complicated and probably doesn't help that I talk too fast. I know that, I'm sorry. However, every one of us, Dean did it, Casey did it, Brian did it, Don did it, I did it, all of us started as one. We have a lot of people in our company. It started as one. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, if you're on board and you're going to do and implement how you say it, lot
Yep.
of shit now.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Dump it, baby.
Yes.
So, how many of you have ever seen a video of my thing called, they used to be called Networking Nuggets. They were a couple of minutes long, networking tips, a couple of them. Okay, I went and sat in a tree in front of Bruce Waterman's house for 1 day. And I sat and I think we recorded 50 videos in a day.
How many outfit changes?
Literally like 30. I had a wardrobe rack.
In the middle of the street.
Yeah, in the middle of the street, I'm stripping, you know, cars are driving away. They're certainly not driving towards me. They think I'm some white reflective tape man. It's all pasty dude. You know, and there's great outtake reels because traffic's driving by. But the time it took me to go from video 1, which took me about 30 takes to do, and I was all worried about my hair, by about the time 50 rolled around, I'm like, here's the deal, people. Shit, just go talk to people. Like, whatever. And the reality is you are absolutely right. If you don't have a big presence, just do a bunch of them at a time. You know, I thought I was really brilliant. I drove once from Los Angeles to Seattle, and I had my flip cam. And so while I was driving, I started doing all these videos on the way up. I posted them all at one time. The nasty emails I got from people because I was taping while driving was insane. I literally pulled it down. So just do it. And you're gonna find goofy stuff, right? I did one of my favorite videos that I ever recorded was I don't even remember what it was, but it was taken at the airport. Well, the thing that made it hilarious, you know what I'm talking about? I'm sitting all excited thinking I'm just giving the best wisdom on the planet, and some yahoo is in the background knowing I'm taping total photobomb, dancing around, pretending he's stripping, like the whole, let me just give you this gem of business wisdom and knowledge. Meanwhile, some guy's, you know, thinking he's Thunder from Down Under behind me. That's funny, and that video gets watched more than any other video. Why? Because it's authentic, and I don't care that I look stupid because people fill out a form that they want to have a consultation with me, and that generates a lead for me. Like, to me, the most interesting thing is how many businesses bumble their way through their week without generating any leads for them to talk to about their business. If you don't have enough leads to talk to in your business, you got yourself a good old-fashioned problem. And you better have to figure out how to take applications, because it may arrive via Instagram if it's from a 15-year-old. The reality is your business lives and dies by the number of people that you talk to about your business, whatever it is. Sorry, that was my soapbox. Oops, sorry. You look and sound exactly how you look and sound.
Your answer is as many as you can. Your other alternative is you don't do it. You're going to keep answering those same questions. You're just going to keep not sleeping at night. You're going to keep writing down the same crap continuously. And you're going to keep repeating the same redundant crap that has us all where we are right now. So hit it. If you have the guts and if you can sit yourself down and knock them out and change shirts real quick, throw in a new pair of hoops, absolutely do that. As many as you can. Get it done as fast as possible.
And you just upload them
Yep.
Well, if you're,
all in one day?
oh yeah, absolutely. So they're automatically, if you're using Google Hangout, they're automatically uploaded to YouTube. So you don't want them just to sit in YouTube because that only helps you really on a video search unless you're really good at optimization. So grab the embed code, drop it in a WordPress blog, which we're going to get to that in a second. Drop it in a WordPress blog, and in your WordPress you can schedule them. You can say come out on Monday, come out on Tuesday, come out on Wednesday, come out on Thursday. So for me, I don't spend time writing blogs every day. I record a bunch of videos, drop them in there, put them all in, I schedule them all out, and I walk away, and the whole thing happens for me while I'm gone. And
Schedule on Facebook too.
you can schedule them on Facebook, and you can schedule your WordPress to automatically send it to all your social media sites. So if you have the right technology, have a good coach, he'll prevent you from doing things that take time and it feeling overwhelming. You know what I mean?
So
I'm glad you asked.
I'm sorry, do you just use the video as your blog, or do you want to write, like if you did a 2-minute
It depends.
quick thing, could you then
Yep.
elaborate in a full blog? So now you have a great word to go with the blog, so then you can attach the video to the blog or put pictures or send them back.
Yes.
I am so excited right now. I don't even know. Yes?
Yes, yes, and yes. However, this is the deal. Once you get this down, when your website gets to a certain point, you don't need content anymore. I don't have to put content on a blog to get ranked. I can throw up a video, put a good title, grab a couple tags, put a couple categories in there, put in a call to action and a lead capture form, hit post, and in 3 days I'll have first positioning for whatever I want. So, in the beginning, you've got to have text. You have to have content. When you get to a point where your website is ranked heavily, you've got a good PR rank, you've got good page placement and so forth, you can back off. You can absolutely start doing more video marketing and throw in text-based content. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I have to ask resident and pretend nerd. Okay. All right, next one, you guys. Speaking of websites, next one. Your website is your primary business asset. You cannot do with you cannot skimp on this. Not saying it's expensive, just saying make the right decision. Everyone in this room should be in a WordPress environment. You're all small business owners, easiest content management system, largest developer base in the world, easiest to be able to edit, easiest to be able to optimize, there are more plugins than anything under the sun. So you don't have to pay. Think about WordPress has millions of developers out there that have built this amazing platform. They keep it up, they update it, they keep adding to it, they make it bigger, better, and better. So when you get a website, let's say you spend $5 grand on a website, you're actually getting millions and millions of dollars of work before it's even designed. Killer system. Your website is the only thing you own. That is your asset. It is a permanent fixed asset in your business. When I see people that go out and they start their social media sites first and they're worried about Facebook and they're pumping content on Facebook like crazy, like billboards are going out of style and they've got to have friends and fans, but they don't put any content into their website, your content on Facebook lasts how long?
10 minutes.
It depends how many friends you have. Casey, yours lasts like 30 seconds because you're maxed out on everything. Mine actually lasts a little longer because I don't have as many friends. All right. When you do that, I see business owners again. Am I saying social media is not for you? No. Am I saying don't do it out of order? Absolutely. There's a reason it's on number 9 and it's on the back page. Because if you don't have your website down, your primary asset, if it's not optimized, if you're not consistently dumping content into it, if you're not ranking for your primary key phrases, you have nothing. Going and spending time and energy and resources on some third-party social media site that you don't own that can be shut down, changed, modified tomorrow is not a good idea for your business. Does that make sense? Okay.
Let me just put a button on this conversation by saying this. I don't know about anybody else in this room, but I spent a crap load of time and energy and resources on Friendster and MySpace. Yep. Anybody else with me? Right? Where is all of that time, energy, and resource today? Nowhere. If I had taken the same stuff and dropped it on my blog, on my website, and then used social media to promote back to the blog, that asset would still be there. We don't know where Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of those are going to be, bless you, 3 to 5 years from now. Twitter's about to bank on the fact you're going to be there for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Right?
17 to $20.
70 million shares can't be wrong. $10.6 billion for a company that just lost $65 million in the last quarter. They're banking on that you're going to be around for a few years.
So you guys, website is critical. I mean, that's your foundation. That's your home base. That is your home base. Don't do anything without it. Very, very critical. And you cannot own a big fancy car and not drive it. If you purchase a WordPress website and you pay for hosting on GoDaddy, congratulations, you bought yourself a Lamborghini, parked it in the garage, closed the door, it's going to die. That's what happens. WordPresses are living beings. They require maintenance, they require upgrades, they require love and participation, okay? You cannot host a WordPress and have it stick around and actually perform. It has to constantly be changing. You notice technology is changing a lot? Yes? So on the SEO thing, if we even get to it, I'll come back to it. All right, so first and foremost, very, very, very important. Everything on a website, content, call to action, drive them to close business. A lot of times I see pretty fancy pictures, nothing driving them to take action. That's going to be critical. All right, next one, content marketing. We've been talking about content since we started this whole show. And I said from the very beginning, we're not talking about social sites, we're not talking about websites, we're talking about how we do what? How we communicate. Yes. That's all this is. Communication. Taking the communication we have one-on-one and putting it where other people can find it when we're not there. That way you can go to Tahiti where your websites are working for you, your content, your video, your social sites, and so forth. I don't wonder, like I said, where business is going. Because right here, I'm here creating another digital asset. But technically, I have hundreds of digital assets that are creating new business for me right now while I'm here. You have to think about this. Everything you choose to do or choose not to do will affect your bank account in 18 months. I hope that time gets shorter, but when I get a lead from a website, 9 times out of 10, it's from an activity that I did 12 to 18 months ago. Think about that. So if I choose not to take action today, you're affecting your income 12 to 18 months from now. That is very, very, very important. Every day you're pushing it out. SEO, web, search, not fast. Doesn't happen overnight. There are trillions of web pages on the internet. If you want to get found for XYZ, my guess is you can put it in the top left corner. It's going to say 1 out of 10 out of 2.5 million pages. You just want to be on number 1 or 3. There's a lot of competition online. So there's things you can do in order to be able to generate business while you're trying to get ranked for participation. Think about this. In the last 12 months, how many of you have made a purchase? You are not an existing customer. From radio, television, newspaper, magazine. So ladies, if Nordstrom sends you a catalog and you buy out of a catalog, it doesn't count because you're what? They only send their catalogs to existing customers. I get lots of them, okay? So, newspaper, radio, magazine, television, door hanger, brochure, flyer, go for it. Last 12 months, what did you buy? You were not an existing customer.
Pizza, baby.
Pizza, fantastic. Maybe oil change, lawn care. Anyone make a purchase in the last 12 months from any of those mediums? What did you buy?
Oh, other stuff. Like what, a chill out?
A what?
A chill out?
Is that a pet?
Chill out.
Is that a pet?
It's a cold
Are you interested?
Hey, I like marketing. If somebody does a good sales pitch, I'm going to buy the damn thing whether I need it or not.
You're in the marketing business then. Guarantee it. Alright, that always is. So this is the cool part. I love the fact I cannot be sold by someone who's in the industry, and all of my information comes from real people. I would rather ask a group of soccer moms how they buy than anyone in the marketing industry. Technically, I'm in it. I don't trust myself. What I do trust, how'd you make the decision for your shirt? How'd you make the decision for where you got your hair done? How'd you make the decision on what movie you're going to see? How'd you make the decision on where you're going to go for dinner? I guarantee you'll get different answers in this question. 1, how many of you have made a purchase from referral to a new product or service in the last 12 months? Raise your hands. Look around. Raise your hands and look around. You got a referral to a product or service. Fantastic. How many of you went online, you made a purchase because you did a search, you found something, you made a purchase? Fantastic. It's a freaking oxymoron to do anything other than those 2 things. However, when you're in the beginning stages, focus on those 2 things. Once you have customers, using other marketing mediums is critical because now you're talking about branding, you're talking about re-engagement, you're talking about reactivation. So then absolutely all the other marketing activities come into place. Absolutely, Nordstrom sends out brochures on a regular basis. Soma, all of my stores, everybody I'm a customer of markets to me on a regular basis. They're not using it for new lead acquisition. They're using it for customer referrals, customer retention, and so forth. Does that make sense? So absolutely, there's a place for all of those marketing activities. It just depends on where you are in your business. Most of the time, when you guys go to a seminar, when you go to a seminar, I got a 15-minute notice. When you go to a seminar, the speaker is here telling you what you should be doing, and they have never asked enough questions to be able to give you advice. I want to say, be careful of what you listen to me. Hopefully I've done enough studying that I know the size of the businesses that are in here and what I believe you need. However, the bottom line is the reason we give a 1-hour consultation to every single person that we speak in front of is because I can't give you the greatest advice without asking you real specific questions about your business. The advice that you're going to give somebody on somebody that's got 25 people in their company, they've been around for 15 years, they do X number of $1 million in business, they've got a database full of 5,000 clients, they're all centralized in a CRM system. Going to be very, very different than someone that says, well, there's one of me in my business. I've been in business 5 years. There's still one of me. I'm doing X amount of business per year. I got some of my contacts in Outlook, some of my contacts in Google, some of them are on my phone, and the rest are in my drawer. It's a different conversation. So when you go listen to a speaker, don't take everything they say as the word, because they don't have the information to be able to coach you properly. Is that fair? Yep. Okay. So websites, we talked about that. We talked about content creation. Hopefully we've kind of really slammed that home. I've mentioned a couple times about CRM implementation. A CRM is a customer relationship management system. That is a lifeblood in my business of everything that we do. Every lead, every opportunity, every customer, every contact, every case or issue is in one central location. More importantly, every marketing activity is tied to a campaign. Every campaign is tied to a landing page. Every landing page has a web form. Literally the process of creating a campaign, creating a web form, creating a landing page, and pasting a chunk of HTML code on there with a lead capture form takes 30 seconds. But if I go wrap my truck, and I go put my company's information on there, I put a QR code, I put a website, I send them to a landing page, I know exactly how much business I get from that. If I send out a brochure, I know exactly how much I get from that. If I do this video is going to have one campaign, one web form, one landing page just for this. A radio show yesterday just for that. I'm talking a lot. You have to think about that. In minutes, when it comes down to, if our phone rings and somebody calls and they say, Jen, I'm interested in having you come speak at the XYZ. I'm like, hang on just a second. I go in, I look up XYZ, I look at how many leads, how many opportunities, how many closed transactions did they get from it, and they get a yes or a no. Is that crass? No. In the beginning I told you three-letter acronym. What was it? I know what they are. I know what my HLAs are. Me going to speak for event that provides no value at all, is it an HLA for me? The best decision you can make in business is the one that says no. It really is. Most of the time we're saying no to the wrong things. We're saying yes to a whole bunch of things that provide no value to our business. Yes, I'm going to go and I'm going to have 19 one-on-ones at this networking event. If you go, I should not do that. Okay. I have my own thoughts about networking events. However, you're here because I believe in them, but you're not required to have one per industry. You're not required to do 25 one-on-ones. You should meet with who's important, and I encourage you not to come to some far-off location. Get online, do a Google Hangout, see if you can work together, and then make the decision after there. Save you some time. Okay? All right, next. That's a CRM system. I'm going to flip it over. Next one is search engine optimization. How many of you have seen Bruce Almighty? Okay? You remember when he goes in, God's in that warehouse, and he goes in and he says, everything you've ever thought, everything you've ever said, everything you did is in this drawer. This big, huge drawer, yes? That is Google. So when you build a website, the website has to get to a cabinet first. Every page and every post, what's the difference? Any thoughts?
Page is one page, a post is information on that page.
Okay. Anyone else?
There's no difference between a post and a page on WordPress.
Actually, there totally is. This is why, okay? Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Huge difference.
100 times different. A page is static. You only have the ability to add a page title, a permalink, content on the body, page title, meta title, meta description, and meta key phrases. Decent. A blog post, a post in WordPress, you have the ability to give it a page title, a permalink, the body of the content. You can give it a meta title, meta description, meta key phrases, and you can give it categories and tags which are visible to Google's crawlers and visible to humans. They're ranked higher than keywords that you stuff inside a web page and you hide. Blog posts are going to always provide more value than a page. Think about a page is just a landing page. Your blog posts are the vitamins to make that site strong. The vitamins to really, really push that. What did I miss?
TLD, silo, and EMD.
Exact match domain.
Exact match domain,
Okay.
top level, and siloing, which you can't do with a page. Hugely different.
Say it. Say it again.
But
Give me the English version.
It's not different from a database standpoint. I mean, WordPress
It absolutely is different from a database standpoint because you have a different category ID.
But everything in WordPress is a post. Everything is a post, but I understand what you're saying.
If you're talking about object-oriented databases in MySQL,
Battle of the nerds is
categorized,
happening.
you can go nerd. However,
Battle of the nerds. BOA, baby. BOA.
I can absolutely go that nerd. I try not to because it scares people.
Stuck off on it.
All right, posts. Blogs are always going to be more valuable. Posts are always going to be more valuable than pages. Too often, you go to a website, all they've done is their pages. Think about this. You go to a page that says home, about us, our services, FAQ, contact us. And you hand those pages to an administrative assistant and say, file that so they can find it later. How does the administrative assistant file those pages? Home, about us, our services, FAQ, contact us. What kind of drawer does it go in? Everyone has one in their kitchen. Junk drawer, fantastic. Worst pages on a website should be the most valuable, our services and FAQ. Problem is, don't hand jam everything onto one page and drop it into a junk drawer. One page, one thought, 300 words, that's it. Every service has a matching category. Every category in your posts has the top 10 questions you have to answer all the time regarding that service. Now, welcome to getting back more time and generating leads and actually having your website seen by other people. Make sense? SEO. Google cares about 3 things. Are you relevant? That's how you're labeled. You label something our services, you're not relevant. If you label something, I'll give you an example for air conditioning. Here's an air conditioning website. I went to look at one this morning. They had our services, and then they put in there heating, air conditioning, furnace, water coolers, ice buckets, installation, repair, and maintenance. Can you file that somewhere where I can find it? Does the average person go online because their heating and their air conditioning and their water cooler are all broke at the same time? They need to install, the repaired, fixed, and maintenance at the same time.
Hopefully not.
Okay, so think about your business in stages. An air conditioning site, I'll give you just that example. Heating, air conditioning, we'll say, and I'll just leave it at those 2. Those are your primary 2 services. What do people need regarding those services? Installation, repair, maintenance, service, warranty. So they have 1 page per variation. Think about people sifting through a file cabinet to try and find your business. The more literal the page, the more likely it's going to get into the right drawer. So first is, are you relevant? Second is, are you current? Now, what's the difference between pages and posts? Pages are static, posts are current and dynamic. You're always adding new ones. So if Google cares, are you relevant? That's how you label things. Are you current? That has to do with posts. If you're not blogging, you're not talking, you're not selling. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. The last thing Google cares about is, are you trusted? Trusted? Everybody point to me like this. That's all Google wants. Other people to trust me. It wants you, a large audience of people, to validate and trust what I say. The more third-party engagement, the more third-party interaction, the more trust Google says, thumbs up. Welcome to social media. You cannot search engine optimize your website without social media. If you think you can play the SEO game without leveraging social media, you cannot. Can't fake Google. Real people, real interactions. When you see a +1, a recommend, a like, that's what that is. Thumbs up. The more people you have doing that to your site, the more trust you have, the higher you rank. You guys, there's 12 steps on here. I'm not even going to get to them, but I did make it to the 2nd page. What? Look like, and I do that because it's an education process. If you think about it, replicate what we're doing. We have content, we speak, might be on video, might be in a live event. We have some way to follow along that you can take home, and we have a call to action at the end, and we have a lead capture form. That's what you're filling out. So I'm just being real. We're giving an item of value in order to get that. What's the item of value I promised you guys? 1 hour consultation, absolutely. Do you think it would be important to get on the phone with one of us and get some insights on where you're at, where your business is at, and how these things apply?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't take the opportunity to do that, at what point in your business is it going to impact your bottom line? Say it again.
Today.
You listen. I love you. 12 to 18 months. Everything you do or don't do today will impact your bottom line 12 to 18 months from now. You guys take a minute, fill those out. If you have crummy writing, include a business card. Just
And you guys, this is also the sheet that Maurice and I used to put together the list of who to invite to the next event. Okay, so if for some weirdo reason you don't want to be contacted by our organization, just put it on the back and say don't contact me. I'll pull it out.
Don't do that.
But don't do that.
Don't do that. No.
That would be bad.
Yes. Just thinking. Is this helpful?
Yeah.
You want to do something different? You want to do something different?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
It's like the coaches should tell me, do you go away from get not go down.
I had a business coach of mine. He used to tell me, he said, Jen, if you could just get people to do what they already even know they should, they would consider you a genius. That's almost painful. Think about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ouch. The way this form works, there is your information at the top. So let me help with this. You guys saw that stack of forms that were those are each an hour of our time. There's two different checks. One is a 911, one is a 411. If you are right now, I need help, I need to figure this out, I'm ready to go, I want to implement something, I'm not sure what, check 911. If you are, I'm a little on the fence, I'd like to get more information, please help us prioritize these. Check 411 and you can say what quarter you want us to get back to you in, or what quarter you want to schedule those appointments, because we do have to put them in order. And then the 12-step program below, any areas you want us to focus on during that conversation, just check those areas.
Okay,